Beyond interest rates. Exploring effective tools to tame inflation. Inflation, the rise in prices of goods and services over time, is a concern for individuals, businesses, and governments alike. The Federal Reserve, the Fed, often employs interest rate hikes as a tool to combat inflation. However, there are alternative methods that can be equally, if not more, effective in taming inflation. This article examines some of these tools and their potential benefits. Understanding inflation, definition, and causes. Inflation refers to the sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services in an economy over a specific period. It can be caused by various factors, such as excessive money supply, increased production costs, or changes in demand and supply dynamics. When inflation is high, it erodes the purchasing power of consumers and can lead to economic instability. Impact on the economy. High inflation rates can have far-reaching consequences for individuals, businesses, and the overall economy. It can reduce consumers' real income, making it harder to afford essential goods and services. Businesses may struggle with rising input costs, impacting profitability and potentially leading to layoffs. Moreover, inflation can undermine investor confidence and disrupt long-term planning. Traditional approach. The Fed's interest rate hikes. How it works. The Federal Reserve, as the central bank of the United States, has the authority to influence interest rates by increasing interest rates. By increasing interest rates, the Fed aims to reduce borrowing and spending, thus curbing inflation. Higher interest rates make loans and mortgages more expensive, which can discourage individuals and businesses from taking on debt and making large purchases. Limitations and challenges. While interest rate hikes are a commonly used tool, they have limitations and challenges. Firstly, the impact of rate hikes on inflation is not immediate and can take time to materialize. Secondly, they can have unintended consequences, such as slowing down economic growth or negatively affecting sectors sensitive to interest rates, like housing. Lastly, their effectiveness may vary depending on the specific economic conditions. Alternative tools for taming inflation. Fiscal policy measures. Fiscal policy refers to the use of government spending and taxation to influence the economy. During periods of high inflation, policymakers can implement contractionary fiscal policies. These measures involve reducing government spending and increasing taxes, which can help reduce aggregate demand and control inflationary pressures. Supply-side policies. Supply-side policies focus on increasing the production capacity of an economy to address inflation. These policies include measures such as deregulation, tax incentives for businesses, investment in infrastructure, and promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. By improving the supply side of the economy, these measures aim to stimulate economic growth and alleviate inflationary pressures. Wage and price controls. Another alternative tool to tame inflation is the implementation of wage and price controls. These measures involve government intervention to limit or regulate the increases in wages and prices of goods and services. By controlling the growth of wages and prices, policymakers aim to stabilize inflation and ensure affordability for consumers. However, it is important to note that wage and price controls can have unintended consequences and may hinder market efficiency if not implemented carefully. Benefits of alternative tools. Targeted interventions. One of the advantages of alternative tools for taming inflation is their ability to provide targeted interventions. Unlike interest rate hikes, which affect the entire economy, alternative tools can be more specific in their approach. For example, fiscal policy measures can be directed towards sectors experiencing excessive inflationary pressures, allowing policymakers to address inflation more effectively. Flexibility and adaptability. Alternative tools offer greater flexibility and adaptability compared to traditional interest rate hikes. They can be tailored to suit the specific needs and circumstances of an economy. By utilizing a combination of tools, policymakers can create a comprehensive strategy to tackle inflation while considering the unique challenges and dynamics of the economy. Long-term stability. In some cases, alternative tools may offer more sustainable and long-term solutions to inflation. For instance, supply-side policies that focus on enhancing productivity and competitiveness can lead to stable price levels over time. By addressing the root causes of inflation and promoting structural changes in the economy, these tools can contribute to long-term stability and resilience. Conclusion: while interest rate hikes have been a commonly used tool by the Federal Reserve to combat inflation, alternative methods deserve consideration. Fiscal policy measures, supply-side policies, and wage and price controls offer viable alternatives that can be tailored to specific economic circumstances. By utilizing a combination of these tools, policymakers can effectively manage inflation and promote long-term stability. Facts. Fakes. Question: how long does it take for alternative tools to show results? Answer: the effectiveness of alternative tools in taming inflation can vary depending on the specific measures implemented and the prevailing economic conditions. Generally, it may take some time for the impact of these tools to become evident, as they often require adjustments and adaptations over the medium to long term. Question: what are the risks associated with using alternative tools? Answer: alternative tools carry their own risks and challenges. For example, implementing wage and price controls can lead to market distortions and reduced market efficiency if not carefully managed. Fiscal policy measures may also have unintended consequences, such as affecting economic growth or employment rates. It is crucial for policymakers to carefully evaluate the potential risks and benefits before implementing alternative tools. Question: are there any historical examples of the successful use of alternative tools? Answer: yes, there have been instances where alternative tools have been successfully utilized to manage inflation. For instance, during the 1980s, supply-side policies implemented in various countries, including the United States and the United Kingdom, contributed to a decline in inflation rates and improved economic stability. Question: do alternative tools have any impact on employment rates? Answer: alternative tools can have implications for employment rates. For example, fiscal policy measures that involve reductions in government spending may lead to job cuts in the public sector. Conversely, supply-side policies aimed at enhancing productivity and competitiveness can create favorable conditions for job growth in the private sector. Question: can alternative tools be used in conjunction with interest rate hikes? Answer: yes, alternative tools can be used in conjunction with interest rate hikes to create a comprehensive approach to inflation management. Combining different tools allows policymakers to address inflation from multiple angles and adapt to changing economic conditions.